So today for our Beyblade show, we'll be doing a review of the Valkyrie guidebook. It's a little guidebook right here. Comes with a pretty cool frame. And yeah, so let's just get started. So you have the front page of the little guidebook right there. You can see the God Valkyrie Bay in the middle. Then after you can see on the bottom there, you know, the Blader Vault. And then after, if you go a little bit to the top right, you can see that there's this, I guess you'll have a chance of winning this new Valkyrie God Bay. It looks like a bluish ice version. You can see some purple on it. This look actually really nice, but you will have probably low chance to win. That's what usually happens with rare Beyblades. Also, you can actually get 3,000 points. So when we get to that page, I guess if you do have a Japanese Baylogger and a Japanese burst account, you can just scan that and you get some free 3,000 points. So yeah, also comes with a gold little frame that's called Star. So that's pretty cool. We'll show that after we go through all the pages. So actually starting off, you can see that you have the little random little Gashpon Lair Volume 5 with mini Boros. And then after going a little bit to the side right there, you can actually see they're going to release these little cute little mini Bay, I guess little keychains. It's pretty cool. You got the God Valkyrie Bay, Chris Satan, Blaze Ragnarok. You got, Dronzer and Drigger. That's pretty cool if you ask me. Dronzer, Drigger, Draciel. Not Dronzer and Drigger. I just want to make sure I got that right. So that's pretty cool. And then after, as you move to the bottom, you get Capsule Shooter Volume 3. If you're wondering, these are basically these little mini Beyblades. It's kind of like if you only know Hasbro, it's sort of like Beyblade Micros in a way. You can see that they have Lost Long Denus, Fang Fenner, and more of the recent Beys basically. Then after going on to the other side, it does come with some awesome custom stickers. So you can see some stickers for, Blaze Ragnarok, Chris Satan, pretty cool. For your launcher, little mini Bay stickers. That's pretty cool if you ask me. One for Baylogger, God Valkyrie, looks pretty nice. And then after, this is like the little lottery card for I guess I'll just call it maybe Ice God Valkyrie for now. I'll probably have like an actual name and we'll find out. It's basically sort of like this lottery Bay. They make maybe like 1,000 of them. And then after you'd enter this card, you have to get like specific parts or whatever. And if you win, you have to send like the thing and mail it and pay for it. And eventually like they'll actually send you the Bay. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, you can actually see the mailing and whatnot. But you can just see for this page, God Valkyrie completion guide. And you can just see, Japanese letters. And you can see the Bay sort of like masked in that. So that's pretty cool. And then after, it just shows off the God Valkyrie Bay. We'll start off on this side. So it's basically like you can kind of actually, this is pretty cool actually. You can see the original Valkyrie Bay, then you can see Victory Valkyrie, and then after you can see God Valkyrie. So that's sort of cool. It's sort of like saying the transitions, the first one, second one, now the third one. That's pretty cool. You can see vaults there and everything. You can see it shows off the types of the stamina, and this is also, I guess, the manga cover on the top right there. So that's pretty cool. You can also see, I guess, vault, oh, that's a pretty cool God Valkyrie Bay. I really do like these new God Bays. Then after next, you can see, I'm guessing this is like saying the new God Lair system and whatnot. So it's explaining these bays and how these new bays have all these new gimmicks and whatnot. You can see vaults right there. And then after, when you move on to the side, it's sort of explaining how the new parts work. So you'd have the disc right here, then you have the frame, and then they can combine. And then after you have the frame, which I believe is called Star, it's golden, it looks pretty nice. It comes in this little box, you only get one, so that's pretty cool. I can actually open it if you just give me a second. But yeah, you basically get this little gold frame. Maybe in the future they'll actually give it to like an actual God Bay from the God Lair system. But yeah. So here's the golden frame. It looks very nice with the metallic paint on it. And it does kind of make sense why it's called Star, because you can kind of see all the points around it sort of do make a star in a way. Just leave it right there, it's a little bit easier. Just trying to make it a little bit closer. But yeah, that's pretty much the golden frame that comes with this little guidebook. So, yeah, let's just move on from here. So yeah, they're basically, because, most people are going to be like, hey, what's this new Burst series? What's this new God series? So it's sort of like just a little explanation to any newcomers to this. And then after, it goes a little bit more explaining, the sort of gimmick that Valkyrie has, how like there's a little spring right there, and then after it moves, and you can actually see the spring that's right there. And then after, you can see in the bay, that's what it actually does, and I'll actually move to show you. And that's pretty cool. So all these new, all these new God Beys will have a sort of gimmick and whatnot, and actually, it actually kind of shows it on the other side with Gigantic Gaia, how like when it makes the contact, you can actually see the spring and it like hits Gigantic Gaia, so that's pretty cool. Moving on to the next page, it still does show off the God Valkyrie Bay, of course, explaining all the new stuff and whatnot. And you can also see, God right there. And you can even see right here, it's sort of explaining like how the Bay would go in the stadium, explaining how the driver, because the driver is sort of like Big Bang Pegasus, and it's kind of like, oh, the Bay kind of goes like this around the Bay Stadium. And that's pretty cool. You can also see how it retracts right there. And, I get it is as destroying Blaze Ragnarok, or it might be the regular one. But yeah. Moving on to the next page, you can see the God Valkyrie Bay right there, and you can also see, hey, you can also use this one that comes from the magazine and put it onto the Bay, and then actually you can just show it switching. And actually, what's pretty cool about this is actually that it actually comes with some special stickers for the Valkyrie Bay, and you can just see that it actually has the stickers on that Bay. So I guess if you maybe have an extra Valkyrie Bay, you can actually put the stickers in. You can just see that's pretty cool. So now moving on to this page right here, it just sort of goes part by part. So, you got the layer, got Valkyrie, the disc, which is just 6. You got the frame, which is Vortex. You got the driver, which is Reboot, and it's just sort of going part by part. And then after, on the bottom, it shows the top and the side right there, and you can see the stats and whatnot. And then after, moving on to the next page, is basically explaining how this little frame that comes in the actual magazine, you can switch with Valkyrie, and you can kind of see, oh, this frame with Valkyrie. And then after, moving a bit down, it's saying that the stickers that come with this are actually meant for the Valkyrie Bay, and you can see on the bottom that you can put those stickers on the Valkyrie Bay, and that's how like the little star thing can go on. So that's pretty cool. We'll move on to the next page now. So then after, we're going to move on to the next page, and this page is basically showing off the Crest Satan Bay. So you can see Crest Satan looks very cool, has a very nice shot of it. And then after, moving on to the page after that, it's going part by part, explaining the parts for it. And then after, I'll just move down, so you can just see explain the parts, and then after explains right here the gimmick of it, the little rollers. And I was kind of right when it's in the unboxing, it kind of hits the Bay, and then after like it just like, just roll around, I guess. And then after, I guess, explaining the launching and whatnot, I guess what process you should probably do, or I think maybe how the Bay would, what the Bay would do when it's launched in the stadium. And yeah, bottom, their stats, and the blade are right there. And let's just move on to the next page. Next page is just Blaze Ragnarok. So you can see on this side right here, it shows Blaze. We'll go to the other side. On here, you can see Blaze Ragnarok, the top and the side, and then after, you can see it goes part by part, explains like the little mechanism for it, how it works and whatnot. The little tab things can kind of just move, I guess, sort of like, kind of just moves and I guess hits the Bay, and you kind of see they kind of retract into the Bay, so that's pretty cool. And moving on, yeah, just you can kind of see it right there, explaining how it can go in and out. I was sort of right with my guesses for these God Bays, so no, that's nice. Moving on to our next page, which we'll do slowly. Yeah, it just shows the Blaze Ragnarok Bay. It's Blaze Ragnarok. Nothing really crazy. You can see the blade right there. Then after, I guess, saying launch in the stadium, it's a stamina type Bay. Just mostly will stay in the middle. And then after the next page, it's no longer really the God Bays. You can see Gielgir Mugundo. You can see Acid Anubis. Moving on, this is what was pretty cool. It's kind of hard to see, but Volt's kind of like, oh, what is that? These are 2 new Bays that are going to be coming out, and it looks pretty cool. It's this really cool teaser for these 2 new God Bays. And the Beys name for this one right here is Tornado Wyvern, and this one right here is Drain Fafnir. It's basically, I think either one of them will probably be in like the next God random booster, probably sometime around the end of April. That's what I'm guessing for random booster volume 6, I believe. But yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, it's a little nice teaser. Moving on, after the God base, there's really nothing really else to show. You can see Baldur, the mini Boros Bay, and yeah, just saying. All these new, I guess it's probably just like talking about how there are all these new bays. Oh, actually, no, never mind. These are actually the combinations. We will just skim over this, but basically, usually in every little guidebook that Takeritami does, like with Metal Fight and Burst, they kind of give you these crazy little custom combinations, and that's pretty cool. And we'll actually just, you know, we'll go side to side. You can see ones with Blaze Ragnarok. You can see going down ones with Holy Horus Sued, ones with even the regular Valkyrie Bay, but the thing is, with this one, it actually uses the new parts and whatnot, and that's pretty nice. And then after other side, you can see, that's Victory Valkyrie, and the disc, I believe, is Jerk, and the driver, I think it's Orbit. But, you know, it's just all these little combinations, and that's pretty cool. So I guess maybe if, you know, all these fans or kids that enter the tournaments, they would see these combinations, and they would just, you know, maybe just try out these combinations. This one is Quad Quetzalcoatl. I believe that's from Inferno Ifrit, or that might have been, I can't remember. It's from one of the 3 packs. The bottom is Looper for the driver. But yeah, so you know, you got a little random booster layer, you got the disc, which I believe is from Inferno Ifrit, I could be wrong. I know it is for sure from a 3-pack. The Looper driver from Crest Satan, and yeah. So we'll just move on to the next page now. I think, yeah, at this point, you know, it's just custom combinations. But that is pretty nice. So if you enter any tournaments or whatnot, you can just look at these combinations, sort of get an idea of some cool stuff that you could try out. We might try maybe later in the future, something like that. Oh, and then after, you know, more combinations. Here, it's sort of like this little catalog showing you all the layers, so you can kind of have a little reference point, and it gets updated with each one of the guides. So these are the layers. Then after, you can see these are the discs, these are the drivers. And then after, for this part right, oh, let me show it. For the 3,000 points, if you want it, and we'll try to show it, there you go, there's a QR code, just pause the video for you to scan it. So that's nice, so you know, now you get some 3,000 points. We're going to scan this for sure after this video. Then after it's talking about, I believe that's actually the Bay arcade machine, because you can actually see a little shot right there. And it's also explaining the Bay logger and how you connect with the app and whatnot. And yeah, just talking about the Bay arcade machine. After that, it's actually talking about the Beyblade 3DS game itself, how there's special versions. I'm guessing these are codes for you to enter, and if you enter these codes, you know, you could get these little special parts, so that's nice. And after this, it's just like a little manga, little comic. It just goes through. So this is basically just with, you know, the new God Bays and whatnot. And you can see right here, you can see little 2, I guess, bladers just launching their bays. And that's pretty cool. And yeah, on the bottom you can see the manga. That'll be the cover art for it, so that's nice. And I guess, kind of laughed when I saw these. I guess these are little exercises for you to do and before you start Beyblading. It's kind of weird. But you know, these are just little guides for the stickers that we saw at the start. And skip through the pages. Yeah, and here, which is pretty cool, you can actually see the God Valkyrie Bay Red version. It's a lottery. Oh, okay, it's a lottery. I guess both of them are lottery. And I think the 1,000 on there is like only 1,000 made, so it's limited. And I think on the bottom it was that baby saw in the teaser before, or it could be something else. I could be wrong. It does say April 15th, so Koro, so that'll be nice. At the back, just those 3 God Bays that so far came out. And yeah, So I guess now we'll just assemble a Valkyrie Bay with a new star frame, and yeah. So now we actually got our own little God Valkyrie Bay, and we put the stickers on it, and we also put the star frame. So, you know, on the front it looks pretty nice, some gold and red stickers on it, a very nice shine to it. On the bottom you can see that little star frame on it. So I guess that was pretty cool. I guess for the guide they just give you this cool little frame just to put on a Valkyrie Bay, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, this guide was pretty informative, really showed us what the new God series has to offer. Obviously not everything, but it did tease 2 awesome bays. That's pretty much it for this video. Just thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day.